Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar on Power BI financial analysis. My name is Talha Parkar, and today we have students from Sriram College of Commerce, the GBO batch first year, who have done a live project with us in the area of Power BI, specifically working on financial analysis and visualization. They will be presenting for the next 30-45 minutes. They'll be presenting the work that they have done, right? And I think I can hand it over to them. Ayush, you can take it forward.
Right. Good evening, everybody. We'll be presenting upon our project. So I'd hand over to Shaswati to take it forward with the PPT right now.
Sure. Thank you, Ayush. Can we please move to the next slide? This is the agenda for the webinar that we are hosting today. Moving on to the next slide. Now, before we discuss extensively on how we executed our project, let us try to understand what is Power BI actually. Now, Power BI is a data visualization tool developed by Microsoft that allows users to visualize data, share insights, and make data-driven decisions. It turns complex data into simple visuals like graphs and charts. So one can easily spot the trends and insights. Now, for example, if you are working for a sales project, Power BI can help you create a dashboard showing which is your best seller product, show how is your product is performing across months and in different regions, all in an interactive, easy to read format. So it's like a perfect tool for making data-driven decisions without getting lost in tabular formats in Excel. Power BI is also a cross-platform tool offering a Windows desktop application called Power BI Desktop that helps us to create interactive reports with visual analytics. It also provides an online service cloud-based platform to publish, share, and collaborate reports online. It is also available as a mobile application for Windows, iOS, and Android users, where we can access the data from anywhere. Now, who can be the users of Power BI? Well, Power BI users aren't limited to just data professionals such as data scientists or data engineers. The platform is built intentionally in such a way so that non-technical users can easily create reports, manipulate data, and perform in-depth analysis using different operations. Now, what is the use for Power BI? Power BI is used for data visualization and reporting to create dynamic reports with visualizations like pie charts, waterfall charts, KPIs, bar charts to present the data more effectively. It helps with data integration by connecting various data sources such as Excel sheets, on-site data warehouses, and cloud-based data storage. It also helps to track key performance indicators and metrics in real time, use built-in AI and machine learning to make business predictions based on historical data. And lastly, it helps in collaboration and sharing of data across users working in the same company. Moving on to the next slide. Now, talking about the project that we were given an Excel sheet for a company that sells different products in different regions and across different sectors. So this project taught us how to analyze and visualize the financial data using Power BI by exploring data, creating clear stories from it, and gathering useful insights and building scenarios. The tools that we used were Excel, Power BI, ChatGPT, PowerPoint presentation, and Raw.io for making the wireframe. Next slide, please. The main task that we are assigned were that first we were assigned the Excel sheet. Now, did we use the Excel to make for data cleaning? Well, no, we actually used Power Query because it also helps to in data cleaning because it reduces the error handling. Secondly, in phase 2, we use DAX to manipulate the data by creating different columns like profit margin, sales. In phase 3, We created a wireframe using PowerPoint presentation to visualize how our dashboards would look like. In phase 4, we actually created the dashboard, which we will be discussing further. In phase 5, we derived insights from the dashboards that were created using Power BI. And in the last phase, we created a process flow chart as to visualize how our entire project looked. Now handing over the presentation to Ayush.
Right. So I'll be explaining the key metrics here. So these are some of the key metrics that we identified, and then we constructed them on the Power BI dashboard. So before explaining these matrices, I would like to tell you about the wireframe. So first, these matrices were identified. Then we moved on to the wireframing. What we essentially did was that we...
Ayush, if you can come back to the previous slide.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you decide how did you identify that these are the metrics that you wanted to visualize or analyze? If you can share that.
Right. So we analyzed the reports of some of the companies that are in different sectors. And we saw that these are some of the major matrices that finance companies use. And given on our data, we used, we brainstormed on the data, and we saw that on the basis of this particular data, these are some of the key matrices that would be relevant to a financial manager. So from a financial manager's point of view, you have to think, and you have to, go out and see what other companies are using as their matrices. And then you come to a conclusion that these are the following 10 to 12 matrices that you want to track. And even these 10 to 12 matrices, they are divided into three, we have divided them into three segments if we talk about it. So we have one are the basic ones that are the sales overview. And then we have gone into deeper discount based matrices. And then the third one are profitability and cost breakdown matrices. Okay. So I will move on to the wireframe now. So after these matrices were identified, we began constructing a wireframe. So the wireframe we wanted to construct was, we wanted to keep this filter tab common throughout different pages, because more or less filters are same throughout different pages. We wanted to give the, slicers or filters as year, product, country, or segment, so that you can, filter your data based on the product segment, on the country, on the product that you are selling, or the year. And then these were the three pages that we created, and this is what our dashboard looked like. So this is the dashboard for the basic first page. Right. Sorry, this is a dashboard for the third page. And this is the one for the second page. I'll actually like to show you the dashboard once. Just give me a second. I will present the dashboard. I hope you guys can see my entire screen.
Yes, we can.
Right. So this is what our dashboard looked like. So this is the first page that we created. As you can see, there are three cards here. One is for total sales, then for total profit, and then the average order value, and then the country-wise sales summary. Then there is sum of profit by segment, and then there are cumulative sales, and the cumulative growth by year. So you see the sales per quarter in this graph, but you also see the amount they have actually risen by overall. So it gives you a very comprehensive view. On the second page, we have discount percentage, the year-on-year sales growth, the average discount breakdown by the band. So there were three bands of discount, which were high, medium, and low. So this shows as a percentage of whole how much discount band, the amount of discount band, as you can see, average, was given to each band. So the most amount of discount band that we have offered is high, and then it's a very relevant information for a finance manager, because you see, in one glance you can tell we are offering a lot of high discounts, whereas a lot of low discounts. This means we need to push our product. And then here we have cost of goods sold and sales trends by quarter. This dark blue bar shows the sum of our cost of goods sold, and the light blue bar shows the sum of our sales. And then there are monthly units sold by year. So you can see this graph here. We have also added these tabs on the top, which are used to control the dashboard. And on the third one, we have shown the profitability and cost breakdown. So as you can see, there are these following graphs here. One is the sum of cost per unit by year, quarter, and segment. So we have done it by quarter, and then also segment-wise distribution is there. So you can see that in quarter 4 in 2013, the sales that were made to government were the majority chunk. And similarly, in every year, you can notice in one glance that we have made the majority of the sales to government in each quarter. Similarly, we had cards for the return on investment, the profit margin, the cost distribution across the different categories that we had, and the profit per unit sold by segment and product. Now, this is a very interesting graph, because this shows you the product and it shows you the profit per unit sold. So if you can see, the segment is small business, the product is Montana, and the profit per unit sold is 31.33. So similarly, you can see in enterprise segment, we are actually going into losses. So, and in one glance, it gives you a very comprehensive overview, and you can use the filters to segment by country. For example, if I want to talk about just France, so the graph is, like Shaswati mentioned, the dashboards are dynamic. The graph will dynamically change. If I want to talk of Germany and France, and just Germany, and similarly, I can do that for segments or years or our different products that we have. Now I will get back to the PPT and explain the matrices once. So these were the key metrics that we had identified. The first one is sum of sales. So any company would definitely want to track the total sales they've made, which was the total revenue generated over a specific period. Then the sum of profit, and then the profit margin. I think these three are pretty self-explanatory. Then the average order value. So average amount that was spent by a customer.
If you can zoom out, it is visible. You don't have to zoom in so much.
Okay.
You can zoom out and continue.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
And then we have year-on-year sales growth. Like I showed you that graph where the first graph where the line was rising, that shows the year-on-year sales growth. The sum of the units sold, the total units we have sold, the profits per unit sold, and the return on investment, the percentage of return that was made on our cost. Now, one more thing I'd like to address here is how you can use ChatGPT for a lot of things. I have actually pre-prompted GPT, and I would like to show it to you. Right. So one thing one of our faculty always tells us is specific is terrific. So that really applies to ChatGPT. The more specific the prompt you give ChatGPT, the more specific a response and the better the response it will give you. So I gave ChatGPT this prompt. I have a table with the following columns, and I gave it all the names of the columns we initially had and even the columns we made. So these are the values that we calculated after importing the data into Power BI. So I told ChatGPT that these are the values that we have calculated, like AOV, discount, etc. And then I wanted to divide the final outcome into 3 pages. So I told it to divide it into 3 pages and give a name to these pages and what I should show on each page with what type of graph and visual. So ChatGPT gives you page 1, which is the sales overview, and it gives you what graphs and visuals to show and what exactly to show in that, what KPI are you tracking in that particular graph. Similarly, the second is the sales trend and discount analysis page, and the third is the profitability and cost breakdown page. So I feel in today's world, you can use ChatGPT to identify, to just reduce your workload. One more thing I'd like to show you. I hope my entire screen will be visible to you now. This is one of the final prompts we gave to GPT. I had noted it down because it was such a big prompt. This was the table with the following columns, same prompt. These are the values that we have calculated. And we had even I told ChatGPT that I have formatted this into a dashboard with 3 pages. And then I gave it the dashboard summary, page by page. Page 1 is this with these metrics and these visuals. And then page 2 and page 3. And then I wanted to check if I'm missing something or if I want, if there were any suggestions, because it gives you a fresh pair of eyes. ChatGPT is a fresh pair of mind. It will give you more suggestions or anything that needs to be changed. So I said that I feel that page 3 needs changes and, check if everything is tracked or if anything is missing. And ChatGPT even gave me the answer if anything was missing. So even if there are any missing matrices, we have added those. I will get back to the PPT once again. I would like to now hand over to Ayman, where we talk about more data and the recommendations. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ayush. Could you just zoom in on the present slide?
No, I think you'll have to go full screen. This is not the full screen mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay, better now.
Okay, so seeing through the data. So as we know that Power BI is a visualization tool, so it's very easy to get caught up in the whole visualization part. But what most of the students that are new to Power BI miss out on is data mining and actually seeing through the data and finding what you actually need to see. So we have divided this into 3 parts. First is finding insights that are just key findings that we derived from data analysis and that are basically revealing meaningful patterns, trends, or metrics to understand the current scenario of our dashboard. Then second are the challenges or potential threats, specific issues or obstacles discovered through data analysis that might or might not hinder optimal performance. Then thirdly, we have formulating recommendations. These are strategic actions suggested based on the insights and challenges aimed at optimizing performance that will hopefully increase our profitability. So if that sounds interesting, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so firstly, let's talk about the key insights. What did we actually find from the data? Aish, if you want, you could go to the dashboard now.
Sure. I will just open the dashboard once and show you all the key insights. I hope the dashboard is visible to you all.
Yes, thank you.
See, like I previously did explain the dashboard to you. So some of the key insights are actually very highly visible to you. So in each graph, you would see a very important insight. Like when I show you the sum of profit by segment, you see that the highest profit that is coming is from the government. And similarly, when I showed you the graph in the other page, you saw that the highest sales you were making were also to the government. Then when we talk about the cumulative growth by year, and we see that even though quarter wise there are fluctuations, overall our sales are growing at a good rate. There is no fall in our sales. Going once to the next page. I have talked about the discount bans, so I will skip this for the moment. And for example, when I showed you this graph, you see our product is such that quarter 4 is recording the highest sales on average. So if I talk about 2013, then also quarter 4 has the highest sales in comparison to quarter 3. Whereas in 2014, quarter 4 still has the highest sales, and the second one is quarter 2. So our product is such that it is being sold more in the fourth quarter. So these are some examples of key insights that you can use to track. And coming to the third page, when we talk about profitability and cost breakdown, the most important thing you see in cost breakdown is that the other costs are a majority chunk, including the COGS, whereas the manufacturing cost is almost close to nil here. If you see, because it's not even visible, it's very less. And similarly, when we talk about the profit per unit sold by segment and product, when we sell to enterprises, we are in loss. So if you see this data by year, this loss is more in 2014, and some of the segments were in profit in 2013 in the enterprise segment. So this segment of the product Paseo and the product below were in profit. So like I said, Power BI is a very interactive dashboard. It gives you insights. The moment you see, you will get an insight. And I think I've already discussed the insight for this, the sum of cost per unit by year. So the costs are highest with the government. So I think that's about it for this.
Yeah, thank you, Ayush, for the nuances. I will just cover the basics that you can derive from the data. So as you just saw that the total sales are 118.73 million with a total profit of 16.89 million. Now this suggests that our sales are pretty strong, but our profit margin is relatively low. And if you look at the AOV, it is $105, which is actually a very healthy AOV. But it may suggest room for increasing the basket size through like cross-selling or even upselling strategies. Then if you look at the mid-market and enterprise segments, you will see that these two segments are dominating the profit contributions. And mid-market in particular appears to be generating the highest proportion of profit. And if you turn over to the small business and government segments, they have relatively smaller contributions. And same way you can see that even our ROI is 15.21. This is a very strong ROI, suggesting that our company is generating significant returns on its investment. And just from this, the company could explore scaling investments in more high performing areas to further enhance returns. Now, to talk about some of the challenges that you can derive that the company may or may not face in the future. So firstly, the profit margin is 14.23%, which is a healthy margin. However, there is a room to improve this margin by optimizing costs and increasing revenue from higher margin products. Then if we come to the mid-market and enterprise segments that have higher costs per unit compared to other segments. This could be due to the complexity of serving these segments or even higher input costs. There may be opportunities to streamline operations and reduce costs in these specific areas. Then small business and government segments appear to have negative or even low profitability, as Ayush just showed, on certain projects like VTT or Passio. This suggests that some products may not be performing well in these segments and might need re-evaluation or even discontinuation in serious cases. On the other hand, if you look at the enterprise and mid-market segments, they are showing stronger performance for specific products like Amarilla or Montana. And again, the majority of costs from COGS followed by manufacturing and discounts. This breakdown indicates that reducing the COGS could have the most significant impact on improving profitability. So what we need to do is optimize manufacturing processes and review our discount strategies that could provide us cost saving opportunities. Okay, so next slide, Ayush. So we have derived our key findings. We have gone through the challenges. So above all that, what are the key recommendations that we suggest the company now? So firstly, we have suggested advanced COGS optimization through predictive analysis. So we could leverage machine learning models to predict and monitor fluctuations in COGS that could identify seasonal or demand-driven cost patterns. By integrating predictive analysis into your supply chain and procurement processes, we can proactively adjust orders or negotiate supplier contracts even before costs spike. Now, secondly, we have micro segmentations of discounts to maximize margin impact. So moving from broad discount strategies to a micro segmentation approach. As Ayush just showed that our discount strategies are all over the map. So by analyzing transaction data, identifying customer cohorts that respond positively to discounts without eroding margins. So you could just
One
use
more,
yeah,
one
Ayush,
more
go
thing
ahead.
I'd like to add, I mean, with respect to COGS, is that as I showed you, COGS was the highest component of our cost. So not only do we need to see through the predictive analysis, we also need to see how we can bring it down. Because the moment we bring the COGS down, our profitability goes up.
Exactly. Yeah, so you could just use customer purchase history, behavior, profitability data to tailor discount levels specifically to your high potential customers or even segments. Then we have personalized cross selling using dynamic product recommendations. You We need to develop a personalized AI powered recommendation engine for cross selling and upselling within our sales channels that could suggest relevant products that are based on individual customer purchase histories and preferences. Now, we could design a cross-sell or upsell algorithm and A/B test within different customer segments like enterprise, mid-market, small business, then track their AOV, transaction frequency, and customer satisfaction to assess which recommendations are yielding the highest returns. Then next up, we have international expansion playbook for untapped markets that are Asia and South America. So we need to go beyond identifying high potential regions and outline a market expansion playbook with country by country tactics that are addressing our local demand, distribution logistics, and competitive pricing. We will use like demographic and market penetration data to tailor expansion strategies to each country with specific go-to-market approaches. Then we have customer-centric bundling and tiered offerings for mid-market and enterprise segments. As I mentioned before, these are our low profit segments. So we need to develop customized bundle offerings tailored specifically to the unique needs of these two segments, where transaction sizes are large and customers may be open to tiered service offerings. Now we could test bundles combining complementary products with our services, that are installation and consulting. Next up, we have ROI scaling by identifying high return customer profiles and product combinations. I think every company is doing this now. We need to delve into ROI data to identify profiles of high return customers and products that they purchase most frequently. This information
One more
can,
thing,
yeah,
uh,
Ayush?
sorry, yeah. One more thing, we also see that when we talk about the ROI overall, the ROI from Mexico is around 17.5, and whereas the ROI from Germany is 27.93. So we also need to tap more into markets like Germany, and maybe a company needs to either shift focus or see why the ROI in Mexico is lower. Are our costs more in Mexico? Or it's a data that once you view the dashboard, you can see it in one glance and figure out what is going wrong or right in a particular region.
Exactly. Personalized approaches for every country. Now, finally, I haven't added this in our key recommendations because this is not key, but it is some recommendation. That is real-time profitability dashboard for key metrics and scenario planning. Now we could just design a live profitability dashboard that monitors key financial metrics such as profit margin, ROI, and cost breakdown, in even more further than the one that we have made. And then we could integrate scenario planning to evaluate the impact of changes in our all of these COGS, pricing, or discount levels. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, guys, thank you. If you have any questions, you can just leave them in the comments below and we'll get right back to you.
If there are any questions from the audience right now as well, we'd be happy to take them.
Yeah. So great presentation, guys. I think you gave a good walkthrough. Did you have to do any data cleaning in this?
Yes. So the data cleaning in our data was very less. So the majority of the data cleaning I did was on the Power Query. I'll just show you guys.
You
Give me
can
a
present
second.
that also, so that portion also gets covered.
Just give me a second.
Yeah.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, we can see your screen.
So when you go to transform data, sorry. Right. So as you can see, these are the applied steps. So we added certain columns at the time that were not there. Samir will also explain some DAX calculations. I think we missed out on that. So some columns were not there. So we added some columns like cost per unit, for example. As you can see, added custom 3. It's the third column that we added. There's not much data, there was not much cleaning needed
Go to
here.
the
Some
previous
data
step.
types we changed and we removed.
Click on the previous step under applied steps. Go to Power Query.
Right.
On the right hand side in applied steps, click on the previous step. Added custom.
This one. Yeah. So this is the third one. And I'll show you the second column, the total costs, and the first one was the
total cost and discount.
Right.
You could have included this also. Okay, no problem.
Right.
You can come back to the dashboard.
Right. Samir, are you there?
What are the DAX calculations that you wrote? Just present them, Iqbal.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Samir, will you present for the DAX?
yes, I will present that.
I will just stop presenting. Give me a second.
Is my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, Samir,
Yes,
it's
visible.
Okay. So, like, if I talk about DAX, so DAX is basically data analysis expression. So it is one of the most lucrative tool through which we can do calculations in Power BI. So like we have incorporated DAX to to calculate AOV, like average order value. So like you can see here, like like we have uh, aggregated the sales value and the amount of goods sold, and we have like divided the aggregate value of the sales by the aggregate value of the amount of goods sold. So here we get that how much average amount of money is spent on per unit of goods sold. Okay. So if I talk about the cost breakdown, so cost breakdown here. So union, we have used that function union. So it has given the gross value of the values, like it has given the total cost, manufacturing cost, like you can see that that the cost of like giving the discounts, cost of goods sold, and other cost. Okay. So like we have also presented this the cost breakdown in the tabular form. Like you can see the manufacturing cost, that the gross value is this, and the discount and cost of goods sold and other costs. And if I talk about the discount percentage, so we have also incorporated this. So in this we have we have find the consolidated amount of the discount which we have given on behalf of the gross sales. And like we have taken the gross sales as the base value, and we have divided that and we have multiplied it with 100 to get the discount percentage. If I talk about the gross margin, so gross margin is basically that the gross sales after deducing the cost of goods sold. And we have again divided that by gross sales and multiplied by 100 to get the gross margin. So if I talk about the basically the gross margin is the net sale which we are getting. And if I talk about the discount, so we have also used the card to display the discount percentage. And here you can see this. And like profit margin, if I show you the task formula which we have applied to find the profit margin. So basically the profit margin is tells us what that how much profit or how much return we are gaining on the entire sales revenue. So basically we have find the sum of all the entire profit value, and we have used the sales value as our base value, and we have used the divide function. And profit per unit sold is that how much we are gaining by selling the each amount of goods sold. So here you can see that how we have incorporated the tax to calculate the profit per unit sold. And ROI, as Ayush has mentioned, that ROI is that how much we are that ROI is basically the return of investment. So how much profit we are gaining from the by investing in it. So again we have found the that aggregate value of profit, and we have find the aggregate value of total cost, and we have divided them by taking the total cost as our base and multiplied with 100 to find the how much ROI percentage we are finding. So, and year on year sales growth. So here we have find the difference between the sales growth for the current year and the past year. And we have taken the base as the base value as our current past year, and we have find the sales growth. So like Ayush have also presented it.
I think that's a good overview. Did you create a separate date table also?
Uh,
Did you guys create a separate date table?
No, we did not create a separate date table. There was only a cost breakdown table that was created.
Okay.
So I see there's a question in the comments about the data modeling. We were just Samir, can you go into the data modeling tab on the left in the third one? Samir, are you there? I'll just present if it's fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we just have this only one table we needed was the cost breakdown table, and these were related, you know, nothing, not really, we did not really need data modeling per se in this type, because the data was more or less pretty organized here, and we had to do very little
No,
data
but
collection.
ideally for any time intelligence calculation, you need to have the date table created. You cannot do it on the same date column. It's okay for now, but just as
All
a
right.
general tip for any of the project that you guys pick up on Power BI.
Sure. We will
Yeah,
stop
so
that.
Rishabh, I don't think they had any modeling as such. They had only one table, which has like a one-to-many relationship. Great. I don't think there are any other questions in chat. I think that was a good session. And thank you guys for giving us the quick overview of the project that you've undertaken. Thank you for those who joined in to listen. And I think that brings us to the end of the session. We can conclude the call now. Thank you.
Thank you, Charan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all the viewers who are present here.